What's up YouTube? Good evening. So in this video I want to talk about the data that I got from Ftmo after passing one of my challenge accounts, and I feel like this is one of the most important resources, right, that we as traders get from Ftmo that we don't even know how valuable it is to us, right? So after you pass a challenge in Ftmo, they are going to send analysis of your account to you, and you will get in details of quite a number of things that are very interesting, and I would try as much as possible to talk about a few of the things. So as you can see in this challenge phase, I traded for 32 days. So that should be around like a month plus in trading days, but I was in this challenge phase for I think about 3 months. Oh yeah, as you can see, I started November 25 and then I just passed recently. So the way I trade is I like to go slow with my both challenge phases and even funded accounts, which in recent times it has been very helpful for me. It has helped me to pass account and get funded and be able to hold them for 6 months, 7 months. Currently now I have a funded account for the past 5 months and I've been getting payout from that account. So the information in this, right, while I got this and while I was just reading it, I was able to know that okay, this is a reconfirmation that my win rate is around 50% to 60%, or depending on, is, let me just say, static of 50%, but depending on some sort of market conditions, right, I usually get around 60%. So also during the process of this account, I opened 57 positions, and some of them were like sabotage trades. They were fearful trades, they were good trades. So this is not to show that I'm a perfect trader or whatnot, but it helped me realize that even in my inconsistency, even in my struggles, even when I feel like, oh, maybe I'm not doing well, I was still able to get a good result, like a very, very good result. And you see, it is important to mention that your trading result have a positive RRR, which in most cases is a sign of successful and disciplined trading. So for some people, they want to hurry up and pass challenge. So I have a lot of other accounts in challenge phases. I have some in phase 2. I'm currently trading with about three prop firms, and then I also have my personal account. But at the end of the day, this information just sort of like gave me a confirmation that this is what I need to be doing, and these are the things I need to avoid. I need to also focus on one pair that I've been trading that I'm very good at, even though my strategy work on other pairs. But I just need to focus on one pair that I'm extremely good at, that I know the conditions very well, and I have more than enough data for. Of course, there is nothing like more than enough data, right? So that being said, roughly 50% win rate, and so what is more important to me is not all this risk to reward, because on average I know my risk to reward is about 1 to 3, but a lot of times I give back profit, because when I had position, and this was the major challenge I had in all of these periods, I'll be in a very good position and trade is going really well. I move my stop loss to break even, I scale into the position, and eventually it comes to stop me out and then keep going in my direction. It happens so much, and then now learning that also made me to be able to refine my approach, right? I was able to understand what I was doing right and what I was doing wrong. This also made me know the days that I was very, very profitable, like on Wednesday, and I already in a way know that my trading is always way better from Tuesday to Friday. Right, on Monday is just barely okay. So there was a time I used to avoid trading on Monday, but when I refined my strategy, I found out that it was my timing that made me lose a lot of trades on Monday. Because, and this is the major thing I want to talk about in this video, understanding the timing of your strategy, right? So I'm going to scroll down to, you see, GBP USD is my most profitable pair. Of course, I did trade GBP JPY a little bit, but I was sort of like testing out my strategy on it after I had back tested, and I was just hoping to see, okay, if I get a good result on them. So if you can I was using pretty much static lot size. My lot size, I had a consistency level of, I think, 90%. Yeah, I had a consistency level of about 90%, which I would also show in the when I get out of this place. So what was more important, right, is this is okay, this is the data I'm actually coming to. This gave me enough information for me to understand the times that I was very profitable. You see, usually the way my current daily routine is I wake up at about 5:30, 6 a.m. every day. I do my daily devotions, I take my bath, and I get prepared for the day. But usually in about, say, few 5-6 months back, or even a year back, what I used to do was, once I wake up at about 6 o'clock, I'm going to the chart straight, and I'm trading like early London session. And a lot of times, sometimes I make profit, sometimes I don't make profit. But when I did back testing of my strategy, and I back tested for maybe about 10 years of data that I had, I was able to find out that it is more beneficial for me to get into my trades at 8 a.m. And from that time, I started putting into action that I only want to take trades, I want to get into a trade at 8 a.m. and by 4 p.m. I'm done for the day. Only if I have a trade going on from the previous hours of the day, that will be what will make me hold the trade overnight. If I have trades, if there are no trades, I don't get into a trade, even if there is a setup after 4 p.m. Regardless of whatever the market does after 4 p.m., I don't really care. So looking at that on this information, right, you see that I was extremely profitable around this time, which was early London session. Like, London session was pretty profitable for me, and then New York session as well. But the early hours of New York session, which was from 1 o'clock to about 5 p.m. my time. But even at that, once I'm not in a trade from 4 p.m., I'm closing my trade and I'm leaving. So this video is just going to simply be about this, and then I'm going to quickly show the metrics on this account, which was, as you can see, 90% consistency, which is quite important for me as well, because he taught me that, okay, my strategy works, how I view and approach the market works. Where I need to fine tune, where I need to keep working on now, is my emotions, my psychology. There are sometimes I take trades, I add in more positions, I'm already doing great. All of a sudden, once market reverse against me, I lose myself. So I sort of like don't understand what I would do in that situation. And I think I've also been talking about this on this channel for some time now, that this has been sort of like a challenge for me, where oh, what's going on? Okay, just give me a second, let me see if I'll be able to get the screen back. But this has been sort of like a challenge for me, where I'll be in a very good trade, and it's all making sense. But today, for example, was a good one. I got into this trade and market just went straight to my TP. I added another position. I scaled into my position because my trading is not complete if I don't maximize my entry. So I scaled into my position and I moved my stop loss into break even. And then at the end of the day, it was a good one. I was able to get 1 to 3 on this entry and then a 1 to 2 on this entry. So at the end of the day, I was able to get a total of about 1 to 5 on this trade. But yesterday, something similar still also happened to me, but I was able to deal with it, but not in the perfect way as well. So I got into a trade here yesterday with a 20 pip stop loss, and I was targeting a 1 to 3 initially because I've noticed that of recent, while I started looking for like home runs or to scale in my position and then just hold on to the trade, a lot of times market will come against me, and I've also shared it on previous videos. Market will go well in my direction, and then look at this now. It was about just few pips to hit TP, just about 3 pips, right? And there was a time I was having a conversation with a friend, and then I asked him that if your trade goes 1 to 3 into profit, or you have like 3 pips, 5 pips to TP, what are you going to do if the market reverses all the way back down to your entry? So the guy was like, it's going to hold and stuff and all of those things. And yeah, maybe that is the way you trade. But as far as I'm concerned, one of the most painful experiences for me when it comes to my trading, there are 2 that I'm currently working on to be better at. Number 1 is I get into a position, right? And then market comes to stop me out and keeps going in my direction, or I hit stop loss and then I see market going crazy in my direction. Or sometimes when I take profit and then market still keeps going crazy, it does hurt a little bit, but I've learned to be grateful for what I got and not bother about what I didn't get. But in yesterday also something similar happened, right? 8 o'clock, market was doing great, everything was making sense. Initially at this point, I was in profit about 1 to 2, and based off of my strategy, I put stop loss into break even. I had another position, and what happened? Market retraced against me. My second position was here, and as a result, I was in a loss, and I got extremely skeptical about what to do here, because at this point I was already in a loss on the second position. The first position was still in profit. But based off of this entry criteria, right, the trade has not been invalidated. So on my bigger account, out of fear, because the money was huge in a way, out of fear of not wanting to let everything go to zero and eventually take a loss, I closed out the trade, and it was quite painful, right? Because at the end of the day, the market went really good, and even though it did come back again, like eventually it came close to TP and then dropped all the way off. But what did I do here? Because of the previous experiences that I've been having on my other account that I was still holding the trade, I knew that all I could just do is just take my profit and then walk off, be grateful. I will have been able to get in total about a 1 to 5 if the trade hits TP here. A 1 to 5 will have been what we'll have gotten, but I closed out somewhere about a 1 to 4.5, and I was absolutely okay with that, because what did I see happen next? Market tumbled again. It will have eventually stopped me out. But here is where the mind of maybe being ungrateful or whatever of the trader comes in. Market retraced to my entry, and then eventually, this was 3 p.m., right? New York session, late New York session, right? And look at what market did. 100 pips that same day in New York session alone. And in a way, I was like, damn, I should have kept on holding the trade, even though I saw sort of like a pattern, but it was not very clear for me to take a trade here. And then Eventually, when the clarity came in, it was already past 4 o'clock, and which was this engulfing candle. And then I just decided that I'm just going to stay out. Whatever the market did, it kept on riding. I just decided there is nothing I'm going to do about it. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you find something interesting in all of what I've said. And if you are currently trading prop firms, I would advise that you also go into FTMO, because I am currently trading with the 4 biggest prop firms: FTMO, Alpha Capital, Funded Nest, and 5%ers, as well as Funded Pips. And I have not seen any of those companies give the kind of information, give the kind of data and details that FTMO gives, and it has really changed my trading and helped me a lot. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two. That's it for this video, guys. Peace.